Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I have my 2025 College Football Week 7 player props and best bets. We are coming off a great Week 6. We were extremely profitable, a great record. It was a generational week in general. So I am so happy about last week. And if you are a person that got in on any of those wins last week, whether it be best bets, spread picks, or prop picks, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hopefully, you will get in this week. I don't feel like enough people were able to see those winning bets from last week. I know I made a lot of money last week. I know in the NFL show, people are displaying how much they made, and I appreciate that. I love helping people win. Like I always say, I bet my money myself, so I put my money where my mouth is. And last week, man, I made a lot of money. Hopefully, you did too. If you're new, subscribe. If you've been watching for a while, go ahead and subscribe. It is free. But also, if you're already subscribed, leave a comment. Also, hit the like button if you cashed out last week and let me know about it. All those things help the algorithm, which is going to push these videos out to more people. With that being said, we have had a great number of subscribers coming in. I have NBA basketball coming up very soon. And if you go to my channel, I will have NFL picks already up for this week. Also, at the end of this video, you will see the NFL pick. You'll be able to hit that link button if you can. If not, I will post it in the comment section. We're going to get to how we did last week. Let me go ahead and let's get 8 and 2, 80% for our prop spread totals, 2 and 1. 66%. So 8 and 2, really good prop week. I was excited about them for sure. Here are some of my winners: Bryce Underwood, Avery Johnson, Cabe Klubnik, Carson Beck, Jalen Daniels, Jam Miller, DJ Lagway, and then Michael Jackson himself. So 8 winners. All of them were pretty sweat free. The only one that I was kind of wondering about, maybe not going over his, was Carson Beck. It was pretty close. But it looks like, I mean, pretty much if you go back and do your research on how last week went, none of these lines were even close. Um, on the flip side, Anthony Evans did not cash, and then Caden Salter also went under their line. So 6 player props here on part one. I will have a part two coming soon, but on part one, 6 player props and 2 best bets for you. But before I get to those, let me go ahead and show you how we've been doing this season. 100% transparent. I have nothing to hide. One of the few people that do season stats. We're coming up on our best bets. We start off really slow. Every week we're getting better and better. Now we're at 48%. My goal is to get to 60%, and it's going to take a lot of winning to get there, but we will get there. I guarantee it. And then, of course, for our player props, we're at 59%. Of course, 58% makes you profitable. I like 59%, but I would like to get that to 60% as well. So we're going to work on that as we get into week 7. Absolutely love the picks here. This is the part of the season where you start to, get more data points, more eyes on what's going on in players, more understanding of how teams want to play. And we're talking about a guy that it's been very clear that Kaden Hauser is going to sling the football. I'm sorry, he's going to throw that football everywhere. Hauser is averaging 36 pass attempts a game. Passing yards average 302. Projected passing yards is 268. He's been over this line 4 out of 5 games. Only under was against a run-heavy Army team. He threw 285 yards versus BYU, who was a decent defensive team. I absolutely love him here. The total set is at 53.5. Tulane is giving up 237 yards per game. That's third worst in the American Conference. So defense is not great. Tulane has a little bit of offense to keep them moving. I like him here. I think he's going to let the ball air out this game. Give him over 255 passing yards. This is a Thursday game, so get this pick in as soon as possible. Next guy, Bryce Underwood of Michigan. Going back with Bryce Underwood here, we picked him a couple times, and he's been successful for us each time, averaging 200 passing yards, projected passing yards 192. USC is giving up 251 yards passing a game, so they're not really doing well versus the pass. Um, Bryce Underwood is finally coming into his own as I'm watching him get better, week by week. It's an understatement to say that you're starting to see why he was the number one overall player in this last class. Coming off a 270 passing yards game versus Wisconsin, looked more comfortable. The offense looked like it was a little bit more open. He threw it 28 times. Highest completion percentage of the season at 68%. And you know I love high completion percentage. That tells me a lot of things about the quarterback. Now, I said that USC is giving up 251 passing yards. That's 111th in the nation, but they're 108. They're only giving up 108 rushing yards, which is ranked 29th in the nation. So a total flip. So they're stopping the run, but not stopping the pass. Michigan loves to run and would love to run. If USC is able to contain the running game, it's going to force Underwood to throw the football, which is going to easily cash this number. Give me his over 185 passing yards for Bryce Underwood. The next guy I'm going with is Ryan Wingo of Texas. Receiving yards 53, projected 59. He's averaging 7 targets a game. He's getting targeted more than anybody on the Texas team. He dealt with a couple drops at the beginning of the season, and I do understand that his quarterback is Arch Manning, who has looked absolutely horrible when it comes to throwing the football. But he is the clear-cut number one receiver. Also, he's the most talented receiver, extremely explosive. I think that he can hit this line on one catch. Um, Over in his last 2 games, he's cleared it very easy. And then here's the thing. He's a former five-star recruit, seventh ranked wide receiver. He decided to stay at Texas. A lot of guys transferred out. He held on. He stayed there. They're going to show some support to him. And this is a big game. Look for Arch Manning, to look for him to make some plays after the catch, which he is capable of. If we can just get him the football in space, if, you know, Manning can connect on one or two good passes. I think this guy goes over this line. Give me his over 44.5 receiving yards, an extremely low number for a number one receiver. So it kind of gets you the idea of, what they think with this Oklahoma defense being really good. But this guy's too talented. He gets the ball, his 7 targets this game. He's going to go over 44 receiving yards. Give me Dante Moore of Oregon. Went with him before. He's cashed for us in this previous shows. I like Dante Moore here for a lot of reasons. He's completing 75% of his passes. Why do I like high completion percentages? Number one, it shows accuracy. Number two, it shows a good offensive line. And number three, it's good play calling. He's not throwing a lot of passes that aren't. And also number four, his receivers are getting open. So completion percentage shows me almost everything you need to know about a quarterback. And when I see high completion percentages, you usually follow with high passing yards and, wins overall. They're going against an Indiana team that has the best defense versus the run in the Big Ten. So, they're very good versus the run. Not that Oregon wants to run the ball a lot, but they're very good. Both 5-0, so this is a big game for both teams. The total is 55. Oregon's implied total is 32. I think this game's going to be very close. I think Moore is going to be forced to throw the ball a lot more than he has in the past few games. No blowout in this game. He plays all 4 quarters and he goes over his 253.5 passing yards for Dante Moore. Next guy, someone we picked on the last show, similar to Bryce Underwood. We picked him in the last show. Going back to the well here, and we're also going back to the well against his TCU defense. I've picked against them 3 times this season, all have cashed. TCU is giving up 249 passing yards a game. Defense is struggling, and then their offense is pretty good. So that makes for a lot of opportunities to throw the football. The thing I love about this is Johnson had 339 yards passing in his last game. So he completely aired it out. I think that with Kansas State kind of out of the picture for a lot of their team goals, they're gonna just have nothing to lose. They're coming out here playing loose and free. He would have had even more yards in the 349, 339. They called a timeout, which cost him the game, and he hit Jace Brown on like a 60-yard bomb. So he probably would have been close to 400 yards if that mistake hadn't happened. As I said, opening up the offense, as I predicted last week, 58.5 is where the total is set for this game. They're at home. I expect Johnson to put on a show. Cash for his last week, TCU ranked 107th versus the pass, 249 passing yards, as I mentioned, and 11.3.5 per completion. So not only are they giving up a lot of passing yards, they're giving up a lot of yards after the catch. That's going to be important for Avery Johnson. Give me the over 234 passing yards for Avery Johnson. We're going with Sam Levitt here. Um, Not a great matchup, but I love his number here. His number is absolutely too low. He's been over this line 4 out of 5 games this year, 208 passing yards. So we're getting, almost a 23-yard discount on the number that we're getting on Prize Picks. And Utah plays a lot of man coverage. Um, and they're very good versus the run. So, Sam Levitt has some really good receivers. Tyson is one I can think of right offhand who can beat man coverage. A couple long bombs, a couple really good catches and runs after the play. And here we go. We're at our line. The thing Arizona State has tried to rely heavy on is running the ball, but I don't think they're going to let them do it. I think they show extensions to the run, short passes, a lot of screen passes to the running backs, which we get passing yards for. This number is extremely too low. Give me the over 185.5 passing yards for Sam Levitt. I absolutely love this pick. Now to our best bets. They're already on the screen. South Carolina versus LSU. And I'm going with South Carolina plus 8.5. I'm a big believer in the Norris Sellers, and I'm not a huge believer in this LSU defense. When a team doesn't have a good defense, it's hard for me to lay more than a touchdown. South Carolina also has come up and played really well in big moments. Although I do think LSU is a good team, I do not think they can blow this South Carolina team out by more than 9. So give me this South Carolina plus 8.5. I'll absolutely love that pick. Now we're going to Oklahoma State versus Houston. Got two teams that are not great offensively. Both teams that want to kind of take care of the ball, not turn it over. Oklahoma State's going through some turmoil right now. Different coaching staff. They're going to struggle to score. Houston defense is going to lock them down. And Houston themselves, they're not going to run the score up because they don't have that type of offense. We don't even know if their starting quarterback's coming back, although I think he will. They're still going to be very conservative when it comes to him. Give me this under 46.5 for Oklahoma State versus Houston. Now for a recap, Caden Hauser, games on Thursday to remind you. Give me his over 255 passing yards. Bryce Underwood over 185 passing yards. Ryan Wingo over 44.5 receiving yards. Dante Moore over 253 passing yards. Avery Johnson over 234 passing yards. And then Sam Levitt over 185 passing yards. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Also subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know. Show your appreciation. Show what picks you like the most this week. If you have any questions about the picks, I love to answer them. All that helps the algorithm. So don't be shy. Go ahead and leave me a comment. I do a really good job of responding to comments. Almost every comment I get, I will have a response or a like for you. So don't worry about putting a comment on here, me not responding. NFL picks for week 6 are up on the channel. I also have the link right there. I'll also put it in the comments section. I absolutely love those picks as well. Part 2 for college football should be coming out shortly in the next day or two. But until then, keep what you like, leave what you don't, and let's cash.